Welcome to the Infinity Wars Classic video tutorial. We'll be showing you how to play the game and showcasing our new and improved deck builder. When you jump into a game, both players start the game with 3 commanders on the field, as well as 5 cards in their hand, 100 health points, 100 morale points, and 1 resource point. Your resource points are how you play cards, and at the end of each turn, your maximum resource points are increased by 1, and your resources are refreshed to full. You won't gain more than 10 resource points in this way. Cards mainly come in units and spells, but you also have locations, relics, and mission cards. Let's take a look at units and spells. Every unit will have the following: a resource cost, a morale cost, an attack and health value, as well as some additional type information. They may also have some additional effects to make them more interesting, or even some flavor text. As for spells, they simply have their resource cost and effect. There are 2 distinct phases in Infinity Wars Classic: the planning phase and the resolution phase. You move and play new cards in the planning phase, and once both players lock in their turns, the resolution phase begins. The resolution phase is when new cards are played onto the board, effects are resolved, units battle, and the turn ends. On the battlefield, you'll have the following zones: an attack zone for attacking cards, a defense zone for defending cards, a support zone for deployed cards not participating in battle, the command zone for your 3 chosen commanders, the graveyard for destroyed units or used spells, and a small zone for non-unit or spell cards like relics, locations, and missions. When you play a card, its effect will resolve in the resolution phase. When a unit's played, it is played in the support zone and is unable to move zones on the same turn it's played. After the first turn that it's played though, it can be moved to the attack, defense, or support zones as desired. At the end of your planning phase, the resolution phase begins, starting with the player who currently has initiative, as indicated by this little icon here. Initiative indicates which player's effects will start to resolve first, and it swaps between players each turn. Once the resolution phase has begun and all cards are played with their effects resolved, battle begins. Cards in the attack zone will attack the player directly unless intercepted by opposing cards in the defense zone. If intercepted, the units battle each other. Otherwise, if there's no cards in the defense zone, the player's fortress is attacked directly and they lose health. If your health is depleted to 0, the game is over. Additionally, each time a unit dies, you lose morale points equal to that card's morale cost. If your morale depletes to 0, game over. You can also play out your commanders from the command zone directly into any zone you wish by paying their cost. Some cards also have activated abilities, which can be activated from any zone in play. You also have the trading post, which allows you to do a variety of things with your extra resources, including drawing more cards, cycling out cards from your hand, and increasing your maximum resources above the standard of 10. Infinity Wars Classic is played through simultaneous turns, so while you're planning your turn, moving your units and selecting your targets, your opponent is doing the same thing at the same time, and neither of you know for sure what your opponent is doing until the turn resolves. This means you need to play while keeping in mind what your opponent is likely to do, and what your opponent thinks you're likely to do. As for when making a deck in Infinity Wars Classic, you must first start by selecting 3 units to become your commanders. Each commander you have will add 1 level of purity to your current purity mix. Then, all following cards require you to have that level of purity in order to add them to your deck. For example, if you have these 3 commanders selected, you would have a purity of 2 Cult of Auror and 1 Flame Dawn. This means you can add any Cult of Auror card to your deck that has a purity cost of 2 or less, and all 1 purity Flame Dawn cards, as well as any factionless cards. You can view all of our existing cards in the game's deck builder, and whenever new content is added, you'll find it in the New section, located here. Whether you want to double down on one specific faction, or mix and match your favourite factions, it's up to you to make a deck to outmaneuver, outsmart, and overpower your opponent. Best of luck, and if you have any questions, or want to find a game, you'll find all that and more on the Infinity Wars Discord server, link in the description of this video. Now you can finally get your friends into Infinity Wars. See you on the battlefield, Rift Runner!